What's up, guys? Are you trying to learn how to set the site on defense in Rainbow Six Siege? Well, look no further. This is going to be a massive project. We're going through every map, every site, and showing you guys the default setups and rotations and things you might want to consider when you're setting up the site in Rainbow Six Siege. Let's get to it, shall we? All right, now let's go through Oregon Basement. Head holes to watch the T1 walk down. You're going to reinforce both sides of these walls, as well as this wall specifically, to keep them back into bunker. Now, when it comes to the elbow wall, there's two ways you can do this. You can either reinforce this side or reinforce this side. So I'm going to explain the difference. If you reinforce this side, that gives you a long angle into elbow from farther away, so you can actually watch them. Basically, you have no one going to play elbow. So if you have no one playing elbow, reinforce the left side and leave the hole on the right. But if you do have someone playing elbow, reinforce the right side, leave the left side open. Because they're not, even if an attacker gets to this position, they're not going to be able to really stop too much besides the swing here. And they have to swing out into multiple angles, which is going to get them killed. So a lot of times I like to play elbow. I'm going to have this set up because I can play elbow and I know that I have cover to watch anywhere else they come from. So I do like to play like that. Either way works. It's really up to you. Elbow laundry rotate. Head holes, make sure to shoot out the poster on the wall. Otherwise, there's going to be some weird line of sight. Make sure to get the poster. Reinforce that wall. Feed holes all the way across freezers so there's no access. You definitely don't want to reinforce this side. In old meta, you want to reinforce Chalet off. But now, you want to be able to prevent them from walking forward at all. So I definitely highly suggest making feed holes all the way across. And then, of course, reinforcing all the hatches. No reason to not reinforce all the hatches. Slows attackers down, and it's going to make that round that much easier for you to actually win it. And then for normal attacking routes, attackers are going to sometimes crouch walk down the main staircase, so having a barb or something there. Sometimes they'll crouch walk through freezer, which is easy with the camera and the feed holes. Not going to be too much of an issue. A lot of times people are just going to push bunker, just direct. Go through here. That's why a lot of times I will be playing this position, just kind of keeping that on lock. And then they'll also be coming down the T1 walk. And if you have someone just kind of playing actively like here, or playing at pillar like this, and also peeking bunker, you're going to be more than enough to hold them off. And sometimes they'll open up the hatch and try to drop into sight. All right, now we're final site, my least favorite site on Oregon, which is the kitchen and dining site. Come up in kids' dorms, reinforce the hatch off. You're not really going to be playing vertical much on this site. Come down to security, rotate, reinforce this wall off. You just need to be wary of the green door and them taking meeting control. Head holes here to be able to watch the site. You're going to reinforce both these walls as well as this wall, so you're going to be able to rotate in without instantly dying, because you're also going to have that wall reinforced with feed holes. So you can watch the walk-in from farther back so you don't actually die. You can watch from here. Pretty easy to do. Wall reinforced right there with lines of sight. So again, someone can play here. Maybe watch the door. Watch the hallway up. And that's going to be pretty much it on this site. It's a lot harder to hold because you do need to have defenders playing top small, or, you know, being very small heavy. And if attackers rotate the push to either a green or meeting tag, or they're pushing the hallway, working into security, you need to be careful of that. So a little bit harder to hold because there's a lot of different avenues that attackers can actually go through. And as always, make sure to comment, subscribe, and leave a like down below if you guys got something out of this. Now let's go through Oregon. So you're going to reinforce the attic walls off. You're going to open up the hatch so you guys can drop and make a rotate around. You can either reinforce this wall or leave head holes. Head holes if you guys are playing near armory and you want to, you know, you feel like they are going to open up the wall, so you have more angles of avenue. If you feel like they are struggling to actually open up the wall, you can just reinforce. I highly suggest reinforcing this in lower elo as well. Either way works. Reinforce this wall, make a rotate here so you can play off this angle. Reinforce this wall so you don't get wall bang when peeking top white. Leave feed holes. You can also make a rotate here if you want, if they're not really working big window, especially later in the round, so you guys can rotate and hold that angle. Head holes here so you guys can watch from top white, as well as watching the guys come up top white. And obviously reinforced in the main wall. So, utility-wise, you definitely want to leave things on the staircase. Main point of attack. And obviously, up the armory staircase are going to come from armory staircase as well as master and the white stairs. They'll also come from big window occasionally. They might pop on a rappel either here or there. Or they could go through attic. So as long as you're keeping track of all that, your defense is going to be solid. Alright, now we got the meeting and kitchen site. So you start in attic. You can either reinforce this hatch or open it, depending on how hard you want to play up top. Really up to you on that choice. And then for a more advanced setup, one thing you can do is reinforce this wall. And you can play up top. Most times they're just going to come through that door or the big window. You can also reinforce this wall off if you want. One thing that I did in comp was we brought a mute jammer there, mute jammer here, and reinforced both these walls. Mute jammer there. And then it's left a hole right here to watch that green walk-in. Now, when it comes to this hatch, you can either leave it soft open or reinforce it off. If you have no one playing up top, I highly suggest just reinforcing off, because otherwise it will be an issue later in the round. I'm giving you guys options on how you want to play this. So, reinforce this wall off. You want to rotate on the right side, then go into security. And then here, you either want to rotate or lines of sight. Most of the time, I would opt for lines of sight. I rotate here because sometimes I like to rotate on either side, because we'll have someone play in security, so it won't matter too much. And sometimes they want to be able to push through. Rotate here on that side specifically. You're going to reinforce this wall off, as well as the other wall for meeting. Keeping these walls closed, because sometimes attackers will push through the front door or through garage, try to open these walls. And, you know, if they're soft, then they'll just rush through those walls. Open up this hatch. Leave an angle like this, so if they do come in through bunker, you get a quick little kill like so. Now, when it comes to these walls, you can either leave this reinforced here and then feed holes to watch the walk-in. You need to be careful of the bunker walk as well as coming down from T2, as well as the door. Or you can just close the wall off. Most time in ranked, I will probably just close walls because it usually wins more rounds, but I'm going to give you guys the options on, you know, what to do. The normal attacker takes are going to be push through tower, open up the walls, push through green hall, or they'll go through small tower, push through this way, go shower hall, try to push the server door as well as this door. Maybe they'll go up top, try to work the hatch, work vertical, open up attic. A lot of different variations on the site. That's why it's the third site. Now, one of the hardest sites to hold on Clubhouse is bar, so I come and reinforce strip club. You need to at least reinforce this wall. I would suggest probably reinforcing this wall, but this setup, you're not going to have enough. 2 walls. Wall open with a rotate, so if they don't push gym, you can just play gym. It'll be a good angle. Run over. Going to reinforce off this bar wall, as well as this bar wall. That wall is going to be soft. Could be good for later in the round if you're trying to make an aggressive play. Run up. Gonna reinforce this wall. And you're gonna open the hatch so you can play from up top. You can also do whatever you want up here, like, you know, making rotates, whatever. This is not close to the side, so you can make as many rotates and whatever you need up here if you want to play a little bit more flexible. But just be aware, if you don't have teammates playing near all this stuff, it is going to be a little bit harder. So one thing I would like to do, you know, is Legion. You can throw your goo mines on these rotates, on these doors, so I can just focus on the hatch. I don't have to worry about it. And then, yeah, basically attackers are going to either push through stock and garage, work this door, as well as work the breach open and try to plant somewhere in this area. That's why I highly suggest also going up top and opening this hatch for later in the round. And you can work them from up above. Most of the time, attackers aren't going to take this side of the map because it is hard to get a plant spot here and be safe to all 5 defenders. But this is a really good staging area for the defenders to kind of hold this area off. And if they do go for a plant, you can just have someone kind of, you know, drop that hatch right on top of them. All right, and now we're on Clubhouse. And we're starting in the basement. You reinforce off dirt. You get out of here. You're gonna run over. You're gonna reinforce that wall for blue, and as well as make a rotate there. You're gonna come over, make a rotate for the hatch drop, as well as a crouching hole for later in the round when they start to plant. Feed holes here, so if anyone wants to be here to watch the main staircase walk in. Also late round, it's also nice to do that, so you can just kind of weasel your way in there, or you can impact that. Head holes here to help watch the main staircase. You're gonna have this wall reinforced. You're gonna have a little bit of feed holes. Kind of watch that walk over, or you can literally just, make a hole right there to watch that walk over, and you can crouch through that, get back into sight. You also want holes on the left side to watch the secret staircase walk down, and feed holes to watch the oil walk. Then you're gonna run up, and you get all the hatches. So the normal attacking pathing is honestly pretty simple on Clubhouse. This is why so many people love it. They'll either do a kitchen dirt involving getting this hatch open, which just involves this and dirt tunnel. You're gonna reinforce moto off. Sometimes people will want to drop that hatch, which makes it a little sketchy. And then the stock hatch. Attackers will also push in through blue, as well as garage is the second most favorite push. A lot of times in solo queue, people will be pushing the blue side anyways. But like this stops a lot of that because there's a lot of angles and a lot of areas of opportunity to kill these guys. And then sometimes they'll push in through the dirt door. So pretty simple, straight up setup. Most people at high elo are probably going to know the setup pretty intimately. All right, now we're going to do the cache sites. So reinforce off all the garage walls. You're going to run up. You're going to reinforce this wall so you guys are able to play rafters. Usually a zombie likes to live here. With head holes to watch any walk-ins from attackers. Reinforce those walls. High holes right there. Head holes right here. Rotate there. So another attacking spot. They'll come up through the bottom main staircase as well as through the con area. I like to reinforce this wall as well. You're going to need every single wall for this setup. This wall, and I like these holes up here because you can hop up, watch that walk in from here, or later in the round, you can hop in here and get an interesting angle on the window, or on the server window, or for the walk-in itself. And that's pretty much it. So attackers are going to push it through garage normally, and they're going to open up this main wall. Sometimes attackers will come in through the con site. So, as long as you can hold either the con site or the garage, one way they'll be funneled, and then you can just play from the head holes, watch for the walk-in. Or if they're pushing this side and you lose control, you can play further back and have plenty of time to stop them, because most of the time they are going to try to force a plant here. You can just run under red. You don't even need a nitro for this. You can just either A, shoot it, or B, throw impacts like so. Right there. You can kill the guy that's going to be there. There. You can just look at the B-bomb and just come under and just shoot straight up. And sometimes you will kill that guy because that is a default plant that almost everyone goes for. Okay, and now we're defending the gym side on Clubhouse. I come over to server, I reinforce this wall. You either leave head holes or reinforce this wall off. Sometimes I'll opt for this. If you bring a castle or something, you could leave head holes so you can see all the way across. Reinforce that wall. Reinforce this wall, leaving a rotate here. Running over, rotate, reinforce, and then feed holes all the way across. Reinforce, rotate, reinforce. That's pretty much it. So normal attacking routes are going to be working the main wall, as well as working that logi hatch. So bringing a bandit or a castle definitely helps on a site like this. For the windows and, for bandit tricking. If you want to play castle, another situation you could do is making a rotate here, bringing a shield, playing top red, because attackers will also come from server, walking up red, and come through garage. So you could make a rotate here, leave head holes all the way across, because the head holes there are going to give you an angle for all the entryways that an attacker might hop in a window. which is very useful for later in the round. If they don't actually push this side, you just have someone positioned here and watch all the hop-ins. Very easy. But you need to be careful. If they do push you guys out, having this wall open will just give the attackers that angle instead. And when I reinforce walls like this, I have 1 wall, 2 wall. They might not have enough hard breaches, or, you know, we might be able to kill the hard breach before they actually get to that point. So for normal ranks, for lower elo, I highly suggest just closing the wall off and just making it like a funnel where attackers have to actually push through, or they have to open up a wall. Okay, and now we're defending Consulate Garage. I'll run over, get secret wall, as well as this wall. If they actually do push from secret, they'll be funneled to a single door. Attackers will sometimes push through this. Here's a spiral, another area where attackers are going to walk through. You can have a rotate on the right side, reinforcement on the left, so you can add some maneuver when the breach is open. You fight that angle, push in, fight that angle, fight this angle. Yellow door, another place where attackers are going to come from. Wall, head holes, reinforce. Reinforce this, and then head holes here, so you guys are able to walk through the store and go through the rotate without them really being able to see you. Without being in danger. Rotate to go in through garage when you need to. And then a rotate between the sites, obviously. So, some advanced tech for this site. Got a lot of running to do. Hatch reinforced, obviously. And if you guys are really worried about them coming up the piano, you don't even have to have anyone play up there, but you can, because it will slow them down immensely. Making holes above like that, so someone can go upstairs and play those holes, because a lot of times attackers will work that vertical. You can also make the holes that we showed you guys up top there. And then obviously the holes at Visa. So really force them to have to go clear the top floor, so you guys are able to watch everywhere on the first floor from up top. Just like that. So they'll have to clear everybody out from up top, or they're just going to have to push direct, like through the breach or through secret. All right, now we're defending piano site. You're going to come into the lounge, reinforce those 2 walls off, reinforce those 4 walls. You can make the hole above again. You can use, honestly, the holes I showed you guys on literally any site. You'll probably get kills from them. Reinforce those walls off. You could make a rotate there if you're playing the hallway. Reinforce. Holes there. Rotate, so you're able to watch everything. Feed holes here, because you're not going to have anyone play in that room, but you want to be able to see if anyone actually goes in that room. We also made a ton of holes for above. Holes, hole right there, hatch open. You're also going to reinforce this wall off. I'll show you guys how you stop the piano plant from above as well, because sometimes attackers will go here, try to plant. The way that I have it set up, if you have someone up top and they don't clear this guy, they can't plant piano. So you're going to go to the holes right here. They plant there, they die. From the hatch, you can cover all piano. You can also cover it from here. Holes, so if they ever jump in that room, you can see them easily, as well as watching the window from above. Oh, you can make holes here. Let's watch more piano. But why not? You can watch all piano from upstairs. And obviously those holes we showed you guys. And I'd probably use the last reinforcement on this wall, if you do have someone planning on playing up top. Just like that. Alright, now we're defending the split site. So I'm going to reinforce this hatch, as well as that hatch. And then I'm going to show you guys the vertical holes from here. Vertical holes. Holes to watch all of Visa. Holes to watch the Visa door walk in. Hatches open. Holes to watch. And I would just play Elysian. I'd throw some goo mines over here near the door entryways, so I know where they're coming from. I can just hold up top. I can hold control of all of Visa. Holes to watch this hallway as well, right here. So you can watch the Visa double door walk in from here. Snipe somebody. The window. If anyone isn't Visa, I can snipe them from up top. Come over here. double door walk-in, and from the main door. So that's the top floor hold for this. Now we go down. Here's the visa hold. I mean, here's the teller's hold. You reinforce both these walls and that wall because this is the site. And then I make a rotate here so we can be a little bit more flexible on our runaround game. I also reinforce this wall and the secret wall all the way down there. So I will come over here. I'll reinforce that wall. You can make a rotate here or not. Depends on how hard you plan on playing garage. And I'm also going to reinforce garage off. And that's it for this hold. This hold is a little bit harder because it does require a lot of moving parts and people playing certain positions. Like having someone third floor holding admin while having someone play like in the teller's room, being able to call out someone walking through that double door, as well as having people underneath watching the secret, as well as watching garage pushover. Requires a lot of moving parts, but it's actually a pretty easy site to hold. Honestly, one of my favorites on Consulate. All right, now we're on Consulate. This setup doesn't require that many reinforcements, but it does require a lot of shotgun prep. So bathroom, head holes for the yellow walk. Open up the hatch to help watch the blue door. You can play from underneath as well. You're gonna have feed holes because a lot of times people will try to rush a plant, and you could have someone playing piano. The feed holes by themselves might scare someone from planting there in the first place. Reinforce this wall with head holes all the way across. Head holes so you can watch the blue door from here, as well as watch the yellow walk-in from there, or swing and watch the bathroom. Reinforce. Sometimes I like to do this for the early round. It's not going to hurt you late round just to watch the main door walk-in from up top. Sometimes you get a cheeky little kill. I like having angles all the way across, so if anyone does go admin, you are able to fight it. You could reinforce this wall off so you do have a place to play if they are going admin, so you can still watch it. Normal attacker routes, they're going to go up Visa staircase as well as try to push admin. So most of the time when I start, I'm going to play near admin just to see if they are going to push this admin area. It's very hard to clear defender if you're in there. Just have to watch out for flashbangs. Sometimes I like to open up the hatch as well to scare them away. And when we play up top, honestly, I'm going to show you guys exactly what I do. I'm going to make holes above the Visa double door so I can watch them walking through there. Or if they're coming in through the main lobby and they try to walk up the Visa staircase, I can kill them from here. So attackers will also go through Spiral. Spiral's pretty easy to watch because they do have the front of the double door. But sometimes I'll go Legion and just like put a Legion mine on the staircase as well as on the window. And that's pretty much it for this attack. And a lot of times, vast majority of the time, they're going to come from yellow side, try to push through this way, either push through this, I mean, that just looks devastating, or they'll push through here. So not many angles. There's a ton of angles for attackers to have to worry about in a lot of areas where you guys can hide and keep the pressure back. Okay, and now we're on bank defending the basement side. You're going to get the two open area hatches, the elevator hatch and the lobby hatch over there. You can run over here. You can open up the hatches to the third floor if you have someone roaming. You have the option of either A, leaving this hatch soft for a potential flank, or B, reinforcing it, or C, leaving it open. Leave it open entirely if you do plan on having a little bit of roaming presence so you can retake. Most of the time I'll reinforce that if I plan on playing near blue. Then you can either A, reinforce these walls so when they go for a plant, they physically have to open up the wall. Otherwise, you're going to have to walk it through the door. That's going to be the best case most of the time. And then rotate right here. Be able to walk in. Head holes here. I don't suggest reinforcing this wall. You can even make head holes all the way across. If you reinforce this wall and this wall, you're giving them the option of being able to hatch drop and planting at a pretty safe spot. With this, you have a lot more angles. You need to be careful of the garage. So you have a couple options. You can either make head holes all the way across, so you can hold an angle on the plant spot, which would be right there. Or you're just going to reinforce the wall off. When mirror is involved, you can place a mirror here on this wall facing garage and place a mirror there. Super good. Rotate right here. Reinforcement and then head holes that are high so you can see the walk down. You can also choose to make a rotate here. I wouldn't do this too often if they are going through lobby. But it's not bad to make that rotate maybe later in the round. Because one, I can still watch this angle from far away. And I can also rotate up if need be. But obviously the hatches reinforce. Alright, and now we're doing Bank CEO. So you're going to reinforce E3 walls. So when they're on the rappels, they can't get the wall. Bringing wall denial is also good. You're going to make a rotate here so you can see that marble staircase, as well as push up if you need to. Reinforce that wall. Hop up top. Make holes high up here so you can shoot to stock, as well as shoot anyone that might be on marble staircase from this position, like so. Reinforce with a rotate. Reinforce that wall so someone can play close. Head holes right here to see the walk-in. Reinforce, reinforce. I like to reinforce this wall and have head holes just to give you another option for the later in the round to be able to play this. So castle's really good on the site. Where it would castle would be this window, this window, this window, and this window to save yourself from lobby repel. Might be exposed to ATM from here, but I mean this is a pretty simple angle to peek. So this is how I'd normally set it up. Pretty easy, simple. And then a reinforced wall here, bead holes all the way across. So anyone playing janitor, especially with that wall closed, you can just see them come in. Might want to just destroy that as much as you can. So you can see them hop in and take the fight when they actually go into stock, and you can see them all the way across, just like that. All right, now we're doing bank open area. Reinforce the hatches up top in stock. You're gonna come down, reinforce all 4 walls. Bead holes right here. Reinforce that wall. You can even reinforce this wall if you want. In fact, I might do that. So you're not in danger from that window. Rotate. Vaulting rotate specifically here. Hey, use yourself. Let's go. Vaulting rotate right here. Because for later in the round, they will have to jump through that. So you definitely want that one to be a vaulting rotate. You're going to come over here. You're going to make a rotate here, as well as have feet holes. You could opt to reinforce that wall, or potentially reinforce like some walls next to the rotate. It really is up to you on this one. So how I would castle this is definitely a site that I would definitely bring castle. I would castle off that window. I'll come over here. I would shotgun blast a little bit part of this, and then cast off this door so they can't just breach the wall and the castle and run in full speed. I would come over here. I would reinforce this window, and then I would reinforce that door with the castles. Really good castle site. A lot of times I play this site, I'm gonna go castle. Okay, and now we're gonna show you guys a really advanced hold for archives and cellars. You don't need to do all this, but some of it is not bad. Holding up top, walls reinforced. I would just leave that soft because you do not want them to open that wall. But, you know, if it is open, it'll be fine. And there's going to be a lot of holes from above to be able to watch plants. There's a copy plant. Come over here. There's the door walk-in. There's the door for tellers. There's a default plant spot. There's another plant spot, as well as right there. So you can watch all these plant spots from above. Not an issue. Coming down. Vault over. Reinforce these 2 walls. Reinforce these walls off because, again, you don't want them to get to this position to plant. That's why those holes are above. You can opt to make these holes above or not. If you're not playing up top, definitely do not make these holes. If this is for, if you plan on maybe having one guy play in archives, not really having anyone play in tellers and playing above and maybe open area. And then you have a rotate here. If you guys do plan on playing open with that wall reinforced to actually play the window. If you don't want to play open, that's fine. You can just reinforce that off and just kind of close it down and then maybe play some vertical. And that's going to be it. So this hold is really good, and this is how I would want to play for tellers, because honestly, holding lobby from a team with a bunch of ACOGs is going to be hard unless you're winning a lot of gunfights with the rappels and everything. So I just opt to, you know, give them a little bit of room to push in, and then just kind of kill them from above as they come in or go for a plant. All right, now we're canal basement. So you're gonna reinforce this wall, leave head holes for the walk down, head holes for the walk down. You can reinforce this wall or have feed holes. I suggest just closing the wall to force them to have to go into a trench. Like that. Force them to have to walk through that door to walk to the bathroom. Obviously, attackers will push through that door. They could hop into the windows, but you are going to go upstairs and reinforce that hatch. As well as that hatch. Head holes here for scuba with that wall reinforced. So attackers will push yellow using the window or the staircase. They might hop in the locker window if they're feeling shysty. They might work vert on you. Or they might, you know, try to push the trench area. So up top, there's a couple things you can do that you don't really need to do. Well, I like to do things like this just to kind of scare them off of the vertical in the first place. I have to make a bunch of holes like so. So, like, you know, they're afraid that someone literally might just walk up the staircase. To make them feel not safe. If you have someone playing up top, I suggest doing none of what I'm doing right now. This is just to really make them feel not safe. This is if you never plan on trying to retake the vertical. Because it just might scare people away. And just like that. So that, I mean, if everything is being a little hectic, you can kind of walk up, maybe shoot somebody off and just come back down. Most time, just playing underneath like this is going to be more than enough. If they are working vertical, you can kind of, you know, play in the hallway where it's safe, watching the staircase, play in bathroom, float under the vertical, run to yellow, hold the angles over here. So now we got Canal, Coast Guard. This is going to be a tough site to hold, I'm not going to lie to you. So I reinforce this wall off because a lot of times attackers are just going to opt to go through the front door and try to push in, which is why I have it set like this. Tons of feed holes, so they're going to be incredibly scared to actually be in this room. Maybe some hallway holes like that, just to really watch everything. Holes like that, you literally have angles on literally everything when you do things like this. Come over here, a little bit of rotate. Angles literally on everything, including now walking through there. You can watch the hallway as well. Hell, you can even have an angle right here, like so. Pop that wall. Whoops. So you can watch that walking from this angle, like so. Basically, this side is all about crosses and just keeping them funneled at being able to walk through one single door and having angles on everything. But for this to work, you do need to be careful of this back area. Having someone like play a top yellow or bottom yellow is really pivotal, because if they do take control of this area when you're set up like this, it is going to be incredibly hard to not get pinched. So now we're Canal in the map site. So you have a couple options. You can try to play more above or play just site direct. I like to play at least loosely up top. You can leave the hatches soft or reinforce them depending on how you want to run this. You can reinforce these outside walls as well, which I'm not going to do right now. But if they are on site, you really can just, like, you know, have holes from above watching. You can even open up the hatches to go down. You have holes underneath like so. Watch the door walk-ins. Now let's go downstairs. Reinforce these two walls. I like to reinforce that wall and leave feed holes just to kind of scare them off that angle. Reinforce that wall so someone actually is able to play in sight. That angle's not going to be super dangerous to them either. And then that's going to be it. So attackers are going to either push through Old Sky Bridge, or they're going to go bottom green door or museum door. Or they might just try to take control of up top, go through this breach, which, I mean, feed holes again. Never hurts to have feed holes there. Maybe some red rotate. I like to reinforce the 90 off just to make them feel like we are going to hold up top, even if we don't plan on doing that. And then you can choose to reinforce the hatches if you want. Okay, now we're on Canal. Reinforce these four walls off. Make a vaulting rotate. You can't necessarily vault through that, but if you're on top of the desk, you will be able to vault through it. Like that, if you really need to get through that, but it's really just to hold the angle for the walk-in through the breach. Reinforce these three walls with feed holes so they can't just walk in through kill box. rotate there, and that'll be pretty much it. I'm gonna show you guys an advanced little tactic sometimes I'll use. So if you have wall denial and you're going to keep the wall closed, do not make these holes. But if they are going to open up the wall, and you can even do this later in the round, you can open that up and then just sit underneath like so. And if they're upside down and repel, you can just get a free kill like that. And you can also see when they walk in. Even better yet, you can just open up the hatch. I mean, they're gonna know that you're there for sure. Watch from underneath. So attackers are going to normally either A, try to come up a staircase, either red staircase or green staircase over there. They're trying to walk in through kill box, going through the main breach, or push down through Skybridge. Skybridge, as long as you have like some type of like slowdown and you have someone with a gun up watching it, so you know, you'll be more than fine. And hell, you can even place a mirror here, and then like place a mirror right where this rotate is, and then make a rotate here with this wall open. Or you place a mirror here, leave the rotate there, so you can see the Skybirds walk and just pre-fire them as they get close. Honestly, I love every site on Chalet. I'm not even joking. This is just one of my favorite maps to play because all the sites are fairly defendable if you know what you're doing. So now we're playing bar. Want to open that hatch. I also make holes in the floor. If anyone's playing underneath, can just watch that walk in. So reinforce this wall to play the angle with head holes. Reinforce that wall with head holes. If they do push through K9, you are going to be able to see it. You can play in box. You can even reinforce this wall to be extra secure, but you can just play from here. Reinforce this wall, and I make feed holes all the way across here, just so they are actually afraid to actually go for that, because anyone playing on the staircase will have a pretty good angle on anyone walking through there. You come down to the bar. You have a rotate close left, head holes all across, reinforce that wall. You're gonna have the hatch open to be able to watch that big window hopping from the door there. Reinforce that wall. And I would reinforce this wall as well if they do push through kitchen and dining, which is a possibility. And then having feed holes here. Later in the round, if they are gonna push the lobby and you can retake mud control, it is a very good angle to just watch the walk-in from here and just get free kills. More of an elaborate setup, and like having operators like Mira on that wall, and then coming upstairs, having a mirror, let's say, on this wall, maybe pair with an Azami, throwing one right there, or mirror there with Wamidis. Honestly, it's a really good site, and you're going to see this a lot in Pro League. Okay, now we're defending Chalet Garage. I like to reinforce this wall in bar, because sometimes people can open this wall and just drop down the main staircase, or get an interesting angle on people in the garage area. I would reinforce this hatch, as well as the hatch in kitchen. Sorry, dining right there. You come down, and you have a couple options here. You can either leave head holes here, or you can reinforce the wall off. Honestly, it's dealer's choice. If you feel like they're really just focusing one side or the other, having head holes here is fine. But if they are opening both sides, it's not necessarily a bad idea to reinforce this wall. Rotate right here, and I like to have holes all the way to the right like this to really watch that blue staircase walk down. Reinforce these two walls. As well as these two walls, and then you can either open that hatch, leave it soft, or, you know, reinforce it off. So if you have people playing up top, you know, you can leave that hatch soft so they can use it later in the round for potential flanks and everything. So if you want them to be afraid of people upstairs, potentially be slowed down, or better yet, just give your guys angles on people that, you know, may just try to do a direct push. You can make that angle right there. You can also make the trophy window angle. Another angle I like is just having those walls fully open like this, because attackers trying to work vertical in this area are going to be very scared that someone may peek them from that side. Even if you have nobody over there, it's going to make them a little worried that someone could potentially retake that position and just kill them. And if they don't check it, then, you know, you can do that. So honestly, rule of this round is really just stay alive, pull the angles, watch the walk-ins, and you're going to be more than fine. They might push through the front garage, or they might just do a push through trench door as well as through big garage. And they're going to open up walls, and they're going to try to plant here. Which, to stop that plant is kind of hard from the blue position. But you can walk out to here and throw a nitro, but you are going to be vulnerable to any walls that are open. And if they try to plant, well, here, then you can just throw a nitro from connector and probably just kill him like that. Pretty easy. Okay, and then another good side on Chalet is defending the kitchen. So let's start up top in solar. Holes for the trophy window. A rotate here to be able to push through. The wall reinforced. You can run through with west main holes. You have a rotate, and you're going to reinforce this wall to actually play this position. Because they're not going to plant. They have to push through this to take the vertical control away from you. And if they don't, well, you can play up top. You are going to reinforce this wall and leave the head holes here. So you actually can play this angle a little bit close knit. And you can make holes up top if they don't come upstairs. Just like that. Or if they go for a plant, they're going to go for a plant right there. You just hold an angle from up top if they do not clear you upstairs. You can choose to open the hatch or reinforce it. And it's up to you. I would just leave it stopped at the start of the round and kind of gauge what they're doing before you do anything to that hatch. Reinforce that wall with head holes. More head holes. Reinforce this wall with a rotate and another rotate to be able to walk around this half wall, fight the angle when that wall does inevitably get opened up. Reinforce these 3 walls. Immediately feed holes here, so if someone's playing here, they have a free and easy kill if they actually just try to power through that. So attackers will usually go through library, try to open up the wall, and try to push in to go for that plant. If they don't work the vertical, you can have someone up top. Either watch a west main, or you can fall back and play from here and throw, like, you know, it'll let you be able to walk up, throw a nitro, or smokes, or whatever you got at the enemy. This plant is hard to stop, which is why most attackers are just going to go for that wall and try to go plant behind that B-bomb. If you do have that vertical, they are basically forced to have to clear you upstairs. Okay, now we're on Chalet, top floor. So I come into library, I open up the hatch. Even if you won't have anyone plan on playing up top, doing this is going to force them to have to drone everything, and it's really going to slow them down. Which you can easily play that. Alright, you're going to reinforce these 2 walls, and this wall specifically. We'll show you guys the differences of these walls later on in the round. So, you want to be able to have this angle, because later in the round, people are going to try to plant at the half wall. You can run up and kill the guy from this angle. As long as you still, like, you know, can somewhat have piano control. Kills all the way across with a rotate. You can come all the way over here and shoot them through the canine door like that. I would have feed holes like so in case they do a solo take, and I would reinforce this wall. So the reason why you have feed holes there is someone playing in the closet can kill them as they come up the solar staircase like that. And then I would have holes like this. Trophy window. And holes like so for the Westman walk up. And if you want to have someone play underneath in the trophy room, I'd have a rotate, well, just lines aside like that. Maybe some holes right here to watch the big garage walk, so you can shoot them in the back as they walk down the garage. You can watch that walking from there. And you can even have some shotgun holes here, so if anyone's on rappel, you might be able to snipe them from there. Pretty simple, straightforward, and easy. Decent little setup. Okay, now we're doing cafe kitchen. Run up, get that hatch. If you want to play vertical, you can go on this position to watch the prep angle. If they're pushing in through bakery and they open up the wall, you can stop a plant like this. Or come over to where the A-bomb is and shoot them there. We're going to come down now. There's a lot of variation to this site, and none of them are wrong. It just depends on what you want to do. So, feed holes, head holes. So you can opt to have angle like this. If someone's playing co-check, it's nice to be able to hold that, or you can just reinforce the wall off. You can have a rotate here into bakery if you plan on playing a little bit more bakery, like up in your face, but I suggest for ranks just closing the walls. You're going to be more than fine. Reinforce with feed holes. Reinforce. This site is pretty flexible, which is why so many people love this site on defense. You can basically do whatever you want. I like to reinforce that wall, so if anyone is playing like whiskey or like VIP, that angle where there's like a punch hole or bullet hole right there is kind of annoying. So reinforcing that wall, the only time they can see you is if you swing out this far. And like what I like to do is play this position, hold an angle like this, and I know that wall's reinforced, so I'll come out and pre-fire them on that angle and just over and over while I hold it. So attackers will like to either go through that area, through bottom white, or they'll go through reception window or reception. If you have someone playing coat, sorry, let's see if I can crawl through that. Someone playing coat, you can easily back them up from this position. When you vault, you'll be able to see them from this angle. Small bakery window, you can see them from that angle, but be careful of the red walk down. Then they also like to go through the bakery double door, which that's what we're talking about, a rotate there, so you guys can play behind this bar with utility. Makes it a little bit easier, but sometimes I just like to close the wall. Have a little bit of light presence here. When they start opening up like the small bakery wall and throwing util, even if the guy dies or Jones escapes, the round's not over, because remember, they still have to go in for a plant. Alright, and now we're defending the mining site. The goal of this setup is to keep them out of mining. Dining is going to be a little bit of an easier, like they can't really plant too safely besides maybe this corner, and honestly it'd be really easy to retake that. So I reinforced this wall, you guys saw the reinforcements in there. 3 reinforcements, head holes, lines of sight to hold the hallway, reading angles to watch reading from the hallway, basically keep control of the hallway. You're gonna run upstairs, you're gonna reinforce that hatch. Head holes to watch the mining. Be careful of the window. An angle right here to just watch the window hop in. Feed holes, so someone could play bottom red late in the round and watch that angle. If they don't clear up top, a defender can come up, potentially kill a planter there, as well as feed holes all the way across to stop them from walking down the museum hallway. Basically, attackers are going to either A, try to plant here, or B, they're going to try to plant. They're not going to plant there when that opening's there. They're going to try to plant here. So another angle that you can have to potentially stop that plant would be an angle like so. Be able to shoot them from above like this. So you could reinforce these top 2 walls, try to hold upstairs, and if you ever feel like they're going for a plant, just get on the angle and try to find them. Chances are they're probably not going to plant near the window. Again, you can reinforce this hatch, or even just leave it open if you do plan on playing upstairs with like a zombie or something. There's a chance. Just keep them out of mining. Alright, now we're defending the reading room site. I come up top, I reinforce these walls off. Vertical, if they just try to walk in and go for a plant, you can see the plant from every position from right here. Boom. Reinforce, reinforce. So someone's easily able to just play up here. You can bring a shield or something, or play behind the bar, holding angles on the door. Come down white. Head holes on the right side. Maybe a rotate on the left. So you're going to hold an angle like this, or you can even come underneath and play from lower. Rotate with the reinforcement. Reinforce that wall. And then you're going to have head holes all the way across reading, so you can see them as they come in through the fireplace. And feed holes here, obviously. Reinforce, reinforce, because attackers are... I mean, if they don't open that wall, they're going to have to crouch walk through this and see how they can't really see anything in there. And you can just see them clear as day through these head holes. That is now no longer an option. So attackers may go up top, try to clear up top. Maybe work some vertical, but they're going to go up top. Either work down white, or try to go for that reading door, or they're going to try to walk through this red hallway with all those head holes. I mean, you're going to be in a very good spot to be able to hold that. They could try to push up through basement white as well, but it's very easy to hold this staircase as a defender. Okay, now we're on Cafe, starting top floor. Reinforced with a rotate, a cocktail. Reinforced with a rotate. That's stacked. And you can either opt, if you place a mirror here, I'd suggest having this wall open. If not, I'd probably just close this wall off. Sorry about that. Reinforce that wall off. And you can opt for having a bathroom vaulting rotate, specifically a vaulting rotate, because later in the round, an attacker having to vault through this in front of you guys is going to get them killed. Also gives you guys more flexibility if they are pushing through there. If you do this, however, I suggest reinforcing this wall so someone can play this position and not die. Reinforce this wall, head holes here. You don't ever want to leave this one soft because let's say someone gets pushed back and they try to retake that position. If those angles are open, they're not even going to be able to get to that angle. But if they get to this angle, they can either peek left or right, giving them a 50-50 chance, which is going to be a lot better. Playing a zombie in here would be good. Red wall reinforced, and I mean, that's basically it. And then shotgun out the bar here. So if they try to go for a plant, you can see them from everywhere. Go for a plant, you can see them. Or if they go for a plant, you can still see them. So, that's top floor. Now we're on border, top floor armory. So you're gonna leave head holes on the armory wall with the reinforcement there, being able to hold that armory from far away, so they can't really get that close safely. Gonna come over here. You're gonna have high holes here, so you can play under them without exposing yourself, but really it's there so you can kind of see if you do need to see there. If they go for an archives plant, or you can throw a nitro over the top. Reinforce, reinforce. Could have a fountain rotate, which we'll talk about in a second. Reinforce these two walls, leave feed holes, so you have the potential to like either hold off the enemy from getting close, or you know, potentially making a rotate if you do have a secondary shotgun like this. And a Canadian wall reinforced. Going to come over here, reinforce this wall and this wall. Head holes stop the break walk. Rotate as well, so you can watch the east. And then rotate into fountain. If things are going bad, you can come back. One thing I like to do in CC, a lot of you may know this, but having holes from above, if they try to run them through detention, which a lot of people do, they'll open up detention wall, try to sprint in. Free kill if you're holding this angle. I like to open the bottom part of this door to stop them from walking up. And that's why these head holes are open, because an attacker's POV pushing up this balcony is going to be very dangerous with all these potential avenues of attack from the window, from the head holes, from maybe a CC door run out. You can kill them before you get spotted. Honestly, very good defense setup. This is why this is used a lot of the time. Now we're defending border customs, which is definitely a pretty hard site to hold. But if you play vert and they don't take it from you, you can stop all the plants from this position. You can fight with them as they come through detention from up here. Literally all the vertical, if they just try to power through that angle, they will, you know, be met with resistance. Reinforce the hatches, so if the guy up top does go down, the round is definitely not over. Rotate like so. Again, so you can watch, you know, if they hop in. You need to be careful of the main door and vents, though. I like to have lines of sight in here, because if they're in here, they're in the site anyways, so I want to be able to fight them, contest that. Reinforce the passport walls, as well as this wall, so someone can play in this position and hold an angle like so. You can even make a deeper angle for the guy that might be playing in here. I'd probably come in, maybe reinforce this wall so a defender can play in this position and not just instantly die. Like, you know, you can be fine in this position. Come over here, watch the wall. Even open up an angle from this position, like so. Watch the window hop. So there's not really anywhere super safe for them to be in that site. So they would need to kill a couple guys in customs, which is what you want to prevent in the first place. That wall, if they try to push it through passport or anything like that, you can play all the way in the back of customs. You're gonna have angles all over that site, just like this, to try to stop everything going down. Most of the time, attackers are just gonna open up that wall or try to push the main door, try to get into a spot where they can plant in vents. And with everything open like this, it's gonna be kind of scary, especially if you have vertical from above. It's gonna be even scarier. Okay, now we're defending bathroom tellers. I'll reinforce this hatch. Optional if you want to reinforce these armory walls and play upstairs like this, because the name of the game is keep them out of workshop. Be able to watch the hatch, reinforce all these 4 walls, as well as the detention walls over here, so you guys can play customs. And come over here. You're gonna have lines of sight all the way across. You don't want all these walls open right off the rip, but you can open them if you want. Rotate like this. You can either leave that hatch soft or reinforce it off. Sometimes I like to leave it soft because if anyone's going up there, they're going to be able to open up the hatch anyways with the breach because they planned on it. And 2, if it is soft, if they do try to do a sight direct push, having a roamer that is able to open that hatch is going to be very useful. So here, you shotgun out that part of the desk, so when they're planting, you can see them. So keep them out of workshop, keep them out of customs, because if you guys play far back, they really can't plant anywhere in tellers, and then from workshop, they can't really plant anywhere in the bathroom, besides like maybe right there, and honestly, that's a pretty easy wall bang. They could plant right here, which is, you know, why sometimes I like to leave that hatch soft. Basically, this hold is a little bit more on the go. Having a couple defenders, like workshop based, customs based, maybe one up top in armory, maybe one in office, and then one definitely in bathroom, and you're gonna be well on your way. It's literally what I do almost all the time in Champion Elo. Okay, now we're defending Border's workshop site. So reinforced armory wall off. Ton of holes above to watch everything in vents from up here. They can literally not plant anywhere if there is a defender up top like that. I like to leave that hatch soft and then reinforce this one. So definitely playing up top here. Come down. Just have it set like that. One rotate. You could have another angle potentially, like, I wouldn't even do this early in the round, but an angle like this. Be able to watch that walk in. The more angles and more walls are reinforced to this wall, the more potential plant spots you're giving an attacker that hops in. Like if the wall's reinforced, I'm going to plant next to that wall like that. So I have to leave it all soft because if they are going for a plant, I'll just impact it all open and just go nuts. Reinforce these 4 walls and this 5th wall so defenders can play all the way in the back and hold the angles. You also get the detention walls so someone can play in customs. So the name of the game, hold customs, hold workshop. They may take vents, but if you're playing up top and you don't lose control of armory, even if you lose control of armory, the round isn't over. But if you do have control of armory, they physically cannot plant in vents. If they take control of armory, these angles are going to keep them from being able to plant until they kill most of your team anyways. All right, now we're defending the barbecue site. Reinforced geisha wall, feed holes per drum. I like to play with this hatch open and the walls reinforced so you can hold from across there. Now here's the special thing, is playing these holes from above like this. I can see everything that's happening in that site. And I can also make holes right here. For the door walk-in, I can literally see everything from above here. I can see if they try to plant in the corners. And obviously I can play the hatch. And you can even see if they plant by the window. Like that. So dropping down, let's say they take control. Now we have a rotate. Probably reinforce the wall next to the rotate just to give you guys a little bit more breathing room so you don't just get wall banged through the wall there. Reinforce these 2 back walls so you actually play on site without having to worry about your back too much. Gonna come over here. Reinforce this wall with head holes so you can see delivery. And then rotate there to watch the restaurant as well as kind of like, you know, sneak around if someone's doing something shady. And you can also play from the bar. Pretty simple hold with a lot of verticality. All right, now we're defending the master bedroom site on Skyscraper. Come up top, reinforce these walls. You can watch the B1 hopping from up top with vertical holes as well as from the hatch. Come over here. You can make vert on top of this door frame to really watch from above, or you can make them from here. Even if they take control from up top, you're not really in too much danger. You're gonna reinforce this wall right here and run down. Now, you have a little cubby, reinforced, just for defenders to play from. You have some line of sight with a wall reinforced to kind of give you another angle to play off of. Double reinforced because someone's probably going to be outside that B1 window the entire time. Double reinforce these walls. So you can have a defender play in this position as well as in the bedroom. And you can have the other guys kind of floating around either over in the lobby area or holding from above. Pretty simple hold, but definitely requires a lot of moving parts. All right, now we're defending the office site. Reinforce this drum wall for Geisha. Well, a lot of the times I'll just close all these doors so we know if anyone's trying to push across over, reinforce these walls. Really just stop them from doing anything on this side. If they come over, we'll have plenty of audio cues they're coming. You can watch the terrace door walking from here as well as the window hop. You have someone play dragon with this rotate fairly easily, and they can rotate around and shoot through this wall towards there. You have lines of sight that are vaultable to watch the breach. You have lines of sight here as well. You're also going to reinforce off the VIP wall right there. Then I'm going to reinforce these 3 walls. Maybe put lines of sight like right here. In fact, I'd probably just put it all the way across. One thing you could do is probably reinforce this wall and then make holes left and right so there's just more angles to hold. Like that. And then, obviously reinforce that wall up. So attackers are normally going to push the site direct through the window, through the breach, or then go through that terrace door. You have plenty of real estate on the other side of the map to kind of hold that. We can watch the terrace door walk. I can watch the breach walking from here. We can hold the breach walking from here. And if they ever push through the back, well, we have plenty of support. Dragon, there's a lot of things. You can go in terrace, watch the walkover, watch from the rotate, watch from the VIP door. A lot of crossfires going on. Office, reinforce these 2 walls. Run over here, reinforce that wall by minibar, and then the VIP wall. We're gonna run over. We're gonna reinforce these 2 T walls like so. You got 2 options here. You can either have a rotate, maybe play this angle. One thing I like to do a lot of the time is closing off this top black rotate. It'll be easier for attackers to come in through this door, but they still have to kind of cross the hallway, which is still kind of hard. So, rotate right here, reinforce with bead holes there so you guys can watch Geisha. It's a pretty simple and straightforward hold. I mean, you just hold the hallway. You can make lines of sight where you need to, like so. Watch that karaoke window. Watch the top black. Might want to reinforce this wall potentially, or have holes open like so. So you can play it close like this. Watch that hallway. Pretty simple, straightforward. All right, now we're on Coastline, defending hookah. Come over, reinforce the VIP walls. Keep that easier to hold. Then I'll reinforce this wall so they don't get a deep angle onto the site if they do end up taking VIP control. Gonna run over. One thing I like to do is break this base, jump through this to remove the base fragments so you can hold an angle. If they do walk in from Aqua, reinforce both sides of the hookah door. Give you guys plenty of space to hold that door walking, because a lot of times attackers will just walk through that door. Rotate with lines of sight and a reinforced wall in the middle to play off the angles of people walking through Aqua, because most of the time people are either going to walk straight through the hookah door or they'll come through Aqua. Reinforce these 3 walls. This wall doesn't matter nearly as much because there's not many places for attackers to get an angle off of from here. If you want, you can reinforce this wall just to give yourself another spot to be able to hold. I kind of like having it sub because if they do come from the VIP side, it gives me another angle. Hey, no, you can sub. Let's go. Gives me another angle to play. So I don't really care too much about that. Those 3. If I was going to sacrifice a wall to reinforce all 4 of those, it probably would be this wall, and I'd probably place it there. But I honestly really like that VIP wall. And that's pretty much it. And you just have to be careful of people walking through pool vibes, coming from a crossover. You can hold it from the vase here and here, and there's plenty of angles from here to come through aqua. Boom, like this, and you can also hold the hallway from there. Now we're doing the kitchen site. You don't need to do everything upstairs if you don't plan on playing up top, but I do like playing from upstairs. When you can work verticality, there's no reason not to. Force the attackers have to clear you, which they're clearing a spot on the map that's not the site. So can watch kitchen window, reinforce VIP walls. I like to reinforce this wall, just give me another angle to play if they do try to push penthouse. Coming in here, you have an angle right here for the service door walk-in. You can watch from right here. And I don't suggest making this early, but you can make holes on the floor. I wouldn't do this early in the round because if you do die up here, you're giving a lot of verticality to the attackers without them having to really open anything, but you can really stop the plant from up here. I would just probably throw an impact just to get a quick line of sight. So now we're going to go downstairs and check out the kitchen itself. 2 walls reinforced, the vault and rotate. Vault and rotate because if attackers pushing in, they're going to have to jump through the rotate, which is going to get them killed if the defender is watching it properly. Reinforce that wall because you don't want them wall banging everything. Angle, angle. So I can watch the service door, watch the service door. Feed holes so I can watch them. Because this is when it actually becomes a site. I want to be able to make sure they cannot plant in that area. So they have to push in farther in. Reinforce with a rotate so you can watch the service door. Reinforce these 2 walls. And then you can also make floor holes here. I don't have enough shotguns, so let's just do this for right now. Floor holes here to watch the service. Sorry, to watch the kitchen window from courtyard. That's pretty much it. And always make sure to have someone play near sunrise because a lot of times attackers are just going to come from sunrise or come through office, which is over there. And they'll just push through to this kitchen door and try to walk in. So you want plenty of angles to be able to counter that. And they can also come through the main door and through the service. Sometimes they'll work vertical, which is why you're going to have someone positioned up top. If they push you out, then yeah, then they took vertical control, but they might not have enough time to push anything else. But if they don't push you, then you can actually defend the site from upstairs. You don't necessarily need anybody on site in the late round if you still have the vertical control. All right, and now we're defending Blue Bar and Sunrise. Come up and reinforce the hatch. But come down, reinforce, being able to watch kitchen as well as the blue hallway. Line side and left side, reinforce both these walls with the rotate. Feed holes here to watch that window hop in from anywhere on site. Double reinforce these walls so someone can play close, maybe with a shotgun. The reason why I like these holes, especially, I can watch that blue door walking from all the way in the hallway. Chances are you're not going to have anyone actually play in Blue Bar because if you do, it's going to be dangerous anyways. If someone is in Blue Bar, you're going to have someone lobby. So you have feed holes all the way across, reinforce both walls. So they can't really just come in here and get a free plant off because it's going to be super dangerous. Because if you have someone come over here and play near the lobby, I mean, you're going to have angles all the way across everywhere. Another thing you can do is reinforce this wall with a rotate like you do on kitchen, just to help hold the lobby and the kitchen area. So they can't come into the site or take map control from you. Chances are you're probably gonna do okay. You can also do the same thing up top in hookah with a rotate, reinforce this wall off, just to play near that hookah door to stall them out from making that vertical. So if they get the vertical on you, it's not gonna be the end of the round. It'll just kind of a little bit harder to hold sunrise. Because a lot of times attackers are going to try to get in and try to plant behind this B-bomb over here. Try to get up on top of this couch and try to plant here. Which is hard to prevent if you let them get to this position. Which is why there's going to be a lot of guys. That's why there's so many reinforcements here. So just kind of lock that down and hold it down. Normally you're going to have someone behind the Sunrise Bar. The name of the game is keep the Sunrise Bar guy alive. Because if they're here, able to hold this door and this walk-in, chances are you're probably going to be fine. Now we're defending Coastline Penthouse. Reinforce the 2 theater walls off and the 3rd wall. Making feed holes all the way across so you can watch the 90 as well as the walk up from here. Reinforce that wall so you're not in danger from the 90. Head holes all the way across because you do need to watch the site itself. Feed holes, so if anyone ever drops, they instantly get fried. VIP wall reinforced. I would reinforce this wall so you are able to play off the, the wall itself and take cover. Lines of sight. Rotate here so you actually get in when you need to. Reinforce off VIP walls, and you leave the 90 walls soft because, I mean, it's not like you can get much of an angle there anyways. And that's pretty much it. Most of the time, the attackers are going to come from hookah or aqua over, or they're going to hit the wall direct. So if they hit the walls direct, they're going to come through Hall of Fame, the wall, be on window repel, and maybe try to drop the hatch, as well as coming through Hall of Fame. And if you're playing in VIP, you should be more than good. But if you have to give up VIP, the angles they have to plant are going to be right here, because they're going to go through this rotate. So you could make the rotate on the right side if you plan on playing VIP hard. If you don't plan on playing VIP hard, you can make the rotate on the left side, so you can still see the rotate from that angle. But most of the time, the attackers are going to try to go for a plant here. So in which you can... Just part of the reason why this wall is soft, because, I mean, worst case scenario, you can just come to the hallway. You don't have to clear out all of VIP. You can pop the wall open and snipe the guy that's planning. Vaults. And obviously, you're definitely going to have someone playing in this theater position because it's going to be a very strong power position. You don't need to have all these head holes, whatever you want. I definitely suggest having the head holes on the right side. You could have them on the left side as well to just give you more angles, but you are going to be more exposed to that big window from here. Theme park initiation room. Going to reinforce these two walls and also make sure to open this wall somewhat so they can't just thermite the wall. If they thermite this wall, it's going to also open this wall. So you definitely want to close that. Rotate. Reinforce the walls as well as the vault wall. Reinforce with head holes all the way across so you can see everything that's going on. Plenty of angles to watch the cash walk in. Another rotate to watch the door. Pushing through. Head holes with the wall reinforced. And if they're just trying to push cash direct, you can float over through here. And you're going to have plenty of feed holes to play off of. Should be more than fine to play it from this far away. You can push up forward. So most of the time, attackers are either going to come through cash or hatch drop or through dragon. So they'll come from this side, which you have plenty of angles to be able to walk them back. Or they'll push from the cafe side, push through here, try to push through the double door, try to open up a wall. If they do open one of these walls up and they're not taking dragon, you have plenty of space to fall back and hold it from farther away on either side. You can hold it from farther away. Which is, if you're playing here, just be careful of the waiting swing. If you swing out too far, you might die there. So. Now we're defending drug labs, and I'm not going to lie, this is definitely going to be a little bit more of an advanced setup. Rotate. The lines of sight. Feed holes. Reinforce those two walls with a rotate to be able to play in barrels. You're going to reinforce these two walls. And lines of sight like so. All the way across. Just kind of scare the attackers off and gives you another angle to play. We call this the iron box because we're basically going to reinforce this entire area off, giving your guys on site breathing room to be able to hold it down. Rotate, and rotate right there next to the window to be able to watch that pretty easily. I mean, that's pretty much it. The entire thing about this is that you're playing this extra site that they can't really just push to horizontal. They might be able to work some vert, but they can't really get close in the hallways if you have a couple guys playing around this labyrinth. Just like that. Now we're on theme park. We're defending the armory site. We come up top, reinforce the hatch off. This is a very simple setup, so this shouldn't take too long. Both walls reinforced. Feed holds to watch the dragon or walk in, as well as potentially watching the maintenance walk in from here. Reinforce, reinforce. With holds up top, either A, throw nitros over, or B, impact trick. If they are opening the wall, you can impact trick or throw nitros clear over the top. Like so. Boom. Boom. Simple enough. Nothing too crazy here. Most of the time, you're going to be more than fine with just this setup. Make sure to bring enough wall denial for all the walls. And careful, people just crouch walking around. Now we're a theme park, defending bunks. Cafe, not much to do here. You're going to reinforce this wall with head holes both sides. And you have two options. You can either reinforce this wall, make it rotate so you guys can play more in this cache area, or you can just close it off. In ranked, it's never a bad idea just to close walls off to force them to have to actually breach things. Never a bad idea. Same thing over here, reinforce or leave it open. Entirely up to you. Most of the time I'm going up to just close all the walls. Wall reinforced with head holes, so when they're walking through waiting, you have plenty of angles to be able to fight them. Reinforce this wall with a rotate. If anyone's on rappel, you can actually still play near this arcade staircase and be able to swing out. And rotate in the middle of the site. Again, pretty simple, straight up setup. Nothing too complex about this. Okay, now we're on Villa, defending Aviator. Reinforces two walls, head holes with a reinforcement. Going through. Reinforcement in the middle next to the rotate to play the angle. Head holes for the bar so they can't just walk in through skull. Reinforce both corners with feed holes so you can see them as they approach. Obviously that wall's reinforced. And you're going to make feed holes right here for the main staircase walk up. You're going to make feed holes over here to watch the main door. So attackers are usually going to come from the study balcony, which is right there. Or they're going to come across over, work up red, and try to push through the skull door, which is why there's so many angles to stop them, because they'll try to go for a plant on vault. Anyone's playing right there, they could throw a nitro or smokes right over it, boom. They try to plant right here. Someone's vaults, they can just swing out. Or again, from the bar, you can easily arc something to stop that, like so. Easy enough. And holding the bar is very easy because with these feed holes, you position someone with like a shotgun right here. It is so hard to take the bar from somebody if you're just pushing through this hallway like that. Most of the time, the attackers are going to finish in the maps room, trying to go for a plant or try to walk all the way in. Don't let them walk all the way in. Make them go for a plant and then use your utility to fry them. All right, there's only one way for me to show a dining hold, and that is kind of a more competitive hold. So here we go. Reinforce off all piano, so defenders are able to walk through. Only take one firefight at a time until they get to here. They have rotates on rotates on rotates. Do the vault rotate to watch the rest of the site. You have this rotate to watch the main door as well as come back into sight. Attackers, if they're going to plant, they're going to try to plant here, which you can watch from the vertical. So I suggest having vertical here. Now let's go check out the rest of the site. I would reinforce this wall and have head holes on the left side. Like so, just be careful of that window. We're gonna explore that in a second. And these walls, I don't really care too much about reinforcing them because if they push through there, they're going to be in for a surprise. You can opt to reinforce these and abandon some of those piano walls if you want. We're gonna come up top. I reinforce these two walls. I'll leave that wall soft, not shotgunning or anything. I'll leave it soft. Just if late round something happens, you can rotate into it. And I come up top, and you have an angle on the walk-in from up top, from the hallway. You also have an angle at the mudroom door, so they can't really just walk in for free. Where was that effort that I made? I shotgunned a line. It should be over here. Yes. They try to plant. You go over here. You can see everything library. If they're planting over here, I mean, there's bird on everything over here. So if you try to hold up top, you're going to be more than fine. They can't really plant on site. They do have to come clear you or try to go plant somewhere deep. And I leave this hatch open because having that extra flank route is definitely going to be nice. Okay, now we're in the dining site. Reinforce out China wall. Reinforce with a rotate. You can put lines aside here if you choose. Reinforce this wall of the pantry as well as the bottom pantry wall. Run over here. Reinforcement with feed holes. Reinforcement to play off of with Head holes, I don't want to rotate there personally. Reinforcement with a rotate close so you can get close to this door with a shotgun and maneuver around. I like the head holes here because if they're not pushing that memo door, it does give you another avenue to shoot them from here. I mean, that's basically the dining hold. The thing about this is that the vertical can be really brutal, so I highly suggest playing at least a little bit up top. I mean, I don't need that much. Just like maybe like, you know, Astro rotate. And then maybe a wall reinforcement right in the middle. With an angle like that. Just hold them off. And I'll do another angle like this. So we can have something to play off of. Because if they don't push up top, you have the option of coming in here late round. I would not open this hatch early, but you come in here late round, you pop that hatch, and you're going to get a massive angle. So the attackers are either going to A, work up top, or B, they're going to hit the site directly either through laundry or through the pantry. Or they could come a crossover from the main and living room area where they're, you know, go to China. But honestly, the angles here are going to be very hard to really push in through here. Like, it's really hard for an attacker to win this site unless they do vertical. So I highly suggest watching a little bit of verticality. A lot of times I see newer players just castle off all the doors in this site, and they think of it as like sardines in a can. They go up top, they bring the fuse, the ram, the sledge, and just work so much vert on them that they just literally have nowhere to hide, and they can't leave because it's castled. So be careful with your castles. If you do bring castle, I don't suggest castling every door, but do castle some doors that you may not be wanting to watch super actively, like the memo door, let's say. That door, that window. Maybe the laundry door. I wouldn't castle pantry. I wouldn't castle the China door for your roamers. Now we're Villa playing trophy. Reinforce these two walls and Astro with a rotate. You're going to come over here, reinforce both these walls. Leave head holes on both walls here so you can watch that the closet walk-in pretty easily. You also have someone play in here, hopefully with utility. Play in the closet. And, yeah, basically stop them from taking master direct. If they push across over, there's a lot more you can do on the opposite side of the map. You can put up a little bit of presence. Just this, by itself, prevents so much of just, like, you know, early study pressure, because this is hard for attackers to push through. You push that as an attacker, and you will feel like you're going to be in danger. And even better yet, you can make kills all the way across the top like so. I mean, you have plenty of reinforcements to go around this go-around, so don't be afraid to get a little creative over here. If they do try to push a crossover like so, I mean, plenty of ways to deal with them. And, you know, I still have 2 left. I can literally reinforce those 90 walls like I did before with feed holes. Except for this, what I would probably do is I would actually make a 90 rotate, because this isn't the site. So being able to float around like this is going to be key to hold the opposite side of the site. Then I would also probably reinforce this wall, just so they're not wall banging the guy that might be playing statue door too much, because, you know, they still get an angle, but the angle's not going to be nearly as good from this. So you can play on this door without having to worry about that window. And that's it. Alright, now we're defending downstairs site on Outback. Reinforce that hatch. We're going to come over here. Reinforce those walls off. And you have an angle through the floor for the walk-in. Sometimes people are just going to try to power bomb right through. So having that hole playing up top a little bit is not bad. Reinforce those walls. Reinforce those walls. A quick little rotate. Lines of sight on the left side of the rotate, and then, you know, another rotate over here. It's a big wall, so you definitely want plenty of spots where your team can play by. Reinforce the walls, and I mean, that's pretty much it. I mean, you can have a rotate into the hallway if you want. I just like, in ranks, forcing them to have to funnel through a door or open a wall, because a lot of times, let's say you can snap the hard breacher early, or the hard breacher's a noob, because most of the time people have their hard breacher as their newer player. They're not going to know what walls to open. So I like to force them to have to actually open something, because chances are they're not going to open things correctly. And I'm talking about champion Needle level matches. let alone every other elo. Force them to just have to either walk through that door or open that wall to go for a plan here. If you still have somebody playing up top, you can stop that plan very easily from up top in dorms. But if you can't get up top, well, then you're going to need to swarm the hallway or watch from here, watch from the breach, have someone go reptile, and you just have to swing in and get the guy. All right, now we're going to do everybody's favorite map, Outback. Reinforce the 2 dorm walls. I'm going to come through, reinforce these 2 walls. I like to close these walls so they don't really have any avenue to really pressure us from those bathroom windows, because it really is super easy to just watch us walking from there or from further back. Rotate with head holes all the way across. Reinforce those 2 walls. Reinforce this wall with lines of sight. Most people are going to push this main yellow wall and then walk up the yellow staircase. So this is one of my favorite places to play over here. Reinforce these 2 walls as well. Or they'll push from the opposite side over. Maybe go through this reception door. Or, sorry, picnic door. Or go through the bull door. Through games. Plenty of angles to fight all that. Basically, you gotta be flexible and really adapt to where the attackers are pushing from and kind of swing into them without being too aggressive that you throw your life away. Okay, now we're defending the mechanics room. This is honestly a pretty hard room to hold, but let's get to it. Plenty of vert can be worked on the site, so definitely holding up top is going to be key here. I'd reinforce these 2 walls as well as the wall to my right with a rotate on the left side. You're definitely going to want to play up top a little bit, because if they do get that vert, it's going to be hell in a handbasket down there. So boom. For a little bit of vertical control. We're going to run down. So we're going to reinforce that wall off with a rotate here so we can swing into kitchen when we need to. That wall reinforced. And then you're going to have this wall reinforced as well, so someone can play close here. Someone can play near here for the window hop. Someone needs to be playing near this door as well, watching the window as well as watching anyone that might be swinging close. Maybe someone with a shotgun playing like this. Honestly, this side is pretty hard. It requires a lot of intricacies and like multiple site holding. And honestly, it's probably going to end in having to retake a section that attackers take back. They could literally come from, you know, across the hallway. They could go garage direct. They could work the vert on you. They, you know, there's a lot of different ways they could push. This is really just how maybe have 2 guys up top and then 3 guys floating around the site, and you're probably going to be okay though. Now we're doing laundry party room. Reinforce the bull walls up. So we're gonna explain those walls in a second. Reinforce this wall with feed holes to watch the walk up. Come over to garage, reinforce, and a rotate, reinforce. And then you're going to make a rotate here, reinforce with head holes to have more angles. If they go through games, you're going to have an angle to push, watch that. Reinforce these 3 walls. Also make an angle like this. So you have a deeper angle if they are opting to just go straight for games. Fight that angle. I mean, really, this just kind of comes down to just simple reinforce the main walls, which are just boom, boom, and walls next to rotates, and then make lines of sights so they can't just walk into sight and just plan for free. Make them have to take the firefights, have to take the engagements. You definitely do not want them to be able to just walk in and get a free plan. They're probably not going to plan in party. They're definitely going to plan in B-bomb. The plan spots are usually going to be like over here. Most likely going to be like here. Or sometimes it's behind the coffee machine like this. So, maintaining control of party is key. You can see most of that from this position. And if you still have control of bull later in the round, you're going to have plenty of angles to fight that from here. Now we're on everybody's second favorite map, Emerald Plains. Let's get to it. So here, admin, we're going to reinforce that vault wall. 2 walls. I'm going to leave head holes here so we can watch that green door, because a lot of times attackers are just going to funnel through that green door or walk up the green staircase. Being able to hold that angle there is going to be key. Reinforcement with a rotate. Reinforcement with head holes so they can't just hop in the window. You need to be careful about maneuvering around because there are a lot of angles you need to be aware of, so just keep that in mind. We're going to come over here, reinforce these 2 walls as well. Reinforce and a rotate, so we are able to hold down basically all parts of this. I probably wouldn't open that wall. I mean, that's pretty much it. Most of the time they are going to come through green. That's why I like this head hole open. As long as you can get, you're not in danger from that vault unless they physically walk inside. It is easy to trick that wall. Even if the wall is open, they physically have to walk inside. If they walk inside, you can play it further back. You're not really in danger of that green hallway until they physically start walking through the green hallway. And for defenders, honestly, it's very easy to hold this green hallway, especially with those lines of sight. Like, you can play, like, here, let's say, as a defender, and then have someone in the corner there. And now you guys are in a crossfire, and it'd be very hard for an attacker to win this fight. All right, now we're doing Emerald Plains Gallery. So we're going to reinforce all these 4 walls. You're going to come over and reinforce the vault wall because you might as well. It'll slow them down, make them use a hard recharge on it, or they can't open it. Make a rotate here. Reinforce these 2 walls as well. Reinforce. Do not make a rotate here. Just lines of sight. You do not want to rotate here, because they can walk through breach and kind of sneak in. It's not really what you want. I mean, this is going to get opened up from gunfire anyway, so honestly opening that is not necessarily bad. Can play from back here, watching the wall, watching the walk-in. Then from here, I mean, they're going to push in through the blue area as well as the breach. They're going to have to plant somewhere in this area, and there's plenty of spots where you can, like, play back here. Tons of lines of sight. Someone playing close tuck like this and just swinging out is going to be super effective. Someone could walk up orange, but barbed wire or anything like that is going to slow that down. Most of the time, the push is going to come straight up, and it is definitely hard to hold this site, but it's not impossible. A couple bullets through this will break this too, so, like, you know, you can make lines of sight on the fly when you need to. I wouldn't just open all these right off the rip, because there's going to be another opening that you could die from if you're float off that angle. So let's be careful all those wooden panels. And that's it. Okay, Emerald Plains in kitchen. All right, 2 outside walls. Reinforce this wall with a rotate. Reinforce those 2 walls. Those 2 walls. I probably wouldn't reinforce this wall, but this is playing for a more elaborate tickle I'll get to in a second. Reinforce those 2 walls as well. Wall reinforcements are going to be tough, so you can either opt to have this wall reinforcement or the hatch. So I would probably opt for the hatch most of the time, but I like to play upstairs with Legion Mines, holding everything off, and leaving that hatch soft just in case things go bad. If they do push into sight, I am able to, like, impact the floor, find some vertical on where they might be planting. Like so. There's not going to be a free plant spot in this site. Plane up top, boom. Hatch is open. Now they suddenly just can't really plant anywhere. But again, I would probably opt more for reinforcing the hatch and leaving that closed. But it does give you an option just to kind of mix it up. Because otherwise, this is just kind of how it goes. They're going to open that outside wall, try to push in through there. They might try to sneak around through the back. Most people aren't really going to work the vertical. They're just going to try to power bomb into the site through one of the doors or one of the entryways. All right, now we're defending the bar side on Emerald Plains. I'm not sure why you would ever defend this, but here we go. You reinforce these 2 walls. Reinforce this wall with head holes, so when they do open this wall, because that wall is going to get open unless you're trying to bandit trick, do some crazy stuff to keep that wall closed. Possibility. If you can bandit trick that wall, it's not necessarily a bad idea to close that wall off. Reinforce those 2 back walls and these 2 walls, and just, like, have a little box. Be careful of the freezer walk as well as the walk from green. Chances are they are going to try to open that wall, so I definitely suggest, like, bandit, super out, cage. Keep that wall closed so they have to funnel the doors. Because if they have to funnel the doors, you actually might stand a chance. Okay, now we're on Night Haven. Reinforce these 2 connector walls. You have an option of leaving this connector open with a rotate if you guys want to play more aggressive, or you can close it off. Rule of ranked, never a bad idea to close walls. You can leave that open or closed depending on how you want to play it. You're going to come over here, reinforce 2, reinforce 1, head holes here to watch that breach. Head holes here to watch the rafters. Making it really hard for the attackers to really get real estate in here, because if you close off all these walls, a hard breach is just going to come in here and open it anyways. So you're better off having the head holes open, and they're never really going to feel safe walking in. If you guys have ever attacked Night Haven, you know what I'm talking about. Feed holes, if you don't want to play this. Sometimes what I'll do is I'll do holes like this, so I can play from all the way back here, taking fights like that, killing guys from the breach, also killing from the, you know, all the way back here on the breach. That's pretty it. That's pretty much it. I mean, you just close the walls, keep the walls closed, stall them out, and pick off the people that are poking their heads out. All right, now we're defending the basement of Night Haven. Reinforce 1 hatch, 2 hatch. You're gonna make some feed holes on the floor here for the windows, so they can't just jump in that window and get free vert on you guys. Reinforce this hatch as well. Gonna come over here. Reinforce these 2 walls. You're gonna have feed holes all the way across. So you don't want them to walk down cargo at all. I probably wouldn't put a rotate in there. You can if you want, but it's something to be wary of. One thing you can do, reinforce this wall. More lines of sight, so your defenders have more places to chill. Angle, reinforce both those walls. You have a ton of angles. You have holes for that window hop from underneath. You come over here. Feed holes, reinforce, and feed holes. So the entire idea is they can't walk in cargo because you guys will fry them. And if they push into the breaches like most people are going to do, you have plenty of angles. So let's say I'm an attacker, I'm coming in, right? There's tons of angles. They can swing you from so many different situations here that it's going to be pretty tough to really walk inside that area. Night Haven, defending the kitchen site. You're first and foremost. You're going to run outside this window. You're going to get this hatch at the start of the round. You have plenty of time to get back inside in time, so not a concern. Just be careful sprinting back. If you do get here slow, someone might pre-fire that door. So coming down. Now we have the wall reinforced. This is going to be the main area of attack right there. You have lines of sight, so they can't just come in this corner and plant. You don't want to reinforce this wall, because if they do plant over here, it's going to be bad. You have a wall reinforcement, so you guys can kind of chill without having to worry about the window getting sprayed from it. And for later in the round, you are going to have more angles of attack on the breach. You're going to have a rotate into the freezer with feed holes, so if they just drop the hatch, if you're further back, they should be a free kill. Then you're going to come over here, you're going to reinforce this wall off. So they push through storage. They have to come down one tiny little hallway, and you should be able to deal with them. And someone can just play like so, watching that freezer drop, and then pushing up later in the round and helping hold the site from long range. Or you can go from the 90 and watch the door from here. So be careful of the vertical. There is a lot of vertical on this site, so you do need to be careful. Having roamers might potentially help on that avenue. Okay, now we're defending the control site. Verticality is king here. You can watch the window hop. You can watch anywhere in sight that they're going to plant, as well as in the back. Now let's go down there. If they do take control of the top vertical, not the end of the world, because they still have to come in and plant. You're going to have plenty of avenues to get back. 2 walls reinforced. You're going to be able to see everything going on from there. In fact, I probably make this runnable so you can just kind of move easily throughout. 2 walls reinforced, 2 walls reinforced. Basically, close off a section of the map so you guys can play back here. Play more up on the door. Play more up on the single wall. So they can't ever really get inside and plant. Chances are they're probably not going to go for this plant, because this is a little bit harder to, you know, stop And worst case scenario, you can go upstairs and make some vertical above that basically prevents all that anyways. So I'm not really too worried about it. Low-key, I would probably just have a solos playing up top if they do like leave this section of the site closed off. Have people play like in the back, then have a solos play up top above the site, because they'll never be able to plan if solos is up there. Just quick little bang through the wall, and they're gone. Show what I mean from the vert. I mean, pretty simple, straightforward, easy to use vert, nothing super complicated. Everything good to go. Watching the rotate from above. Basically, if you can keep control of the vert, the site is going to be yours for the taking. Okay, now we're on Lair, holding that top floor. So, going to reinforce off operational with head holes. Head holes here. Main breach is going to be here. A lot of people are going to be able to want to get into this area, this space as an attacker, because this is a free plant. You do not want them to get there. That's why there's lines of sight. You're playing like this. You're playing up on the breach. Lines of sight all the way across, like so. You have to hold the angles from far away. Boom. You rotate right here to watch that door. I mean, that's basically it. You play far back, holding angles on the door. Good to go. I'll probably make that rotate all the way, low key. Holding angles all the way across, so they can't just walk in through the breach, and then just watch them as they walk into that door. This is gonna win you games 9 times out of 10 with this setup. It's gonna be pretty easy. They may try to just slam through operational, position one guy here with someone helping from those head holes. If the guy gets slammed, he can just play close up on the wall like that. And the guy playing in the back should be able to help get the refrag or save the guy from here. And as long as you know, don't lose too many bodies over that, someone can play the 90 hallway. They can't really push too far in, even with the wall open. You're going to be more than fine. There's so many angles. It's very easy to defend this room if you know what you're doing. Now we're going to defend the basement site. I'm going to show you guys a quick little run out here as well. Reinforce those 2 warehouse walls. You're going to also reinforce the missile wall off. And you got to go up top and get those hatches now. Hatch number 1 in the middle of the lobby. A lot of people love to play this hatch. Very easy to flank this, people working this vertical as well as this hatch. They're in the middle of so many potential flank routes. And people also love to get this hatch, which is on top of the site. Definitely need to reinforce this one up as well. Vertical there is also kind of annoying. Now, a sneaky little maneuver that I like to do sometimes is there's a single little room. I'll show you guys. I like to leave this window open for later in the round because sometimes I'll hop out, run over, drop a nitro right here. Because a lot of times people do love to push this little door in the back. Because usually there's not that many people watching it. So if you do know that's happening, you're going to get a free double or triple nitro. So reinforce these 2 walls off. I like to open up this entire wall just to kind of give lots of angles and lines of sight. Reinforce that wall. Now I'm going to reinforce this wall on the left side, having angles on the right so I can watch the angles from either way. And then obviously the missile wall that we reinforced. And then I like to have a little rotate here because a lot of times the defenders aren't really going to be playing in this lockers area super long. But if you are playing up in it, being aggressive, this is another little potential flank route to get people that are pushing the barrels or through warehouse. Keep pressing the attack as a defender. You don't need this rotate, but you know, it does give you options. That's the basement side. Alright, now we are in the briefing area with the bunk site. So reinforce these outside walls in the site. Here's the green hallway. Attackers like to push through this door. They like to open up that wall. Don't let them do that. Or this wall. You're going to reinforce these 2 walls up as well. Reinforce these 2 walls off and that door. Play this yellow area, yellow doorway with a shotgun is super strong. So highly suggest doing that. Just watch out for that security door. So one thing you can do though, most people might want to reinforce that hatch. I don't care too much because that's not the site. I don't care if that hatch is open or closed. So I like to have it open just to give us more angles of avenue if they do take control of that area. Leave it soft, but if the roamer can come up top and watch the vert. Hell, even better yet, you can just impact and watch the vertical from above like so. Right there on that door. And I'm sure you're going to snake somebody doing that. And you can come over here. I would, however, want to reinforce this hatch because that is going to be super important. So you're going to have the vert on the main breach around here. Going to be right there. And, you know, there's a lot of potential flanks on this map for a roamer, so I highly suggest trying to roam. Having, like, maybe 2 or 3 guys on site, but not everybody on site, because if they get work to vert, it's going to kill everybody on site, especially if attackers are already in the hallways. The roamers trying to keep the attackers from, you know, working that vertical and trying to push down and see if they can shoot somebody in the back. Now for the arsenal room, last site on Lair, you're going to come up top and operational, reinforce that hatch off. And you're going to run on downstairs. You can have roamers defending up top as well, because again, if vertical is king, look at all that vert. If they make that an operational, it's going to be sunk. A lot of times attackers are just going to push in through the range, open up that wall. That's why I have it set up like this, so you guys can really watch everything that's going to go on down here. Holding the angles, playing off that wall, holding the angles. You can set this wall up however you want. I don't suggest reinforcing too much of this wall off, because otherwise you guys are going to give them a free plant. They can just walk into the breach, plant right there. As long as they're covering that door and this door walk in, then, you know, round over. Both walls reinforced. Most times attackers aren't going to push through this area, especially if it's like utility, banshees, barb, whatever. This is going to be the main area of assault. So that's why I like to try to see if I can keep operation control and play vert from above like so. So even if they do go in, I am able to do something about it. And this vertical isn't going to endanger your teammates too much, because it really is just on the breach, and most of the time you guys are not going to be playing on the breach. They're going to be laser lock on the door or the breach that's open. And if you can play through on this door, that's even better, because there is a tiny little pixel there that you can see, but you're able to just walk right past that and not die, because again, this is bulletproof, so you're going to be more than fine playing behind this box and then just pre-firing out. So really just keeping them off this area while having your guns up and potentially working the vert is going to be king there. Whew. And we're done, guys. This is one of my largest projects I've done on YouTube, doing every site setup on the map. This is all me with no backup. I reinforced everything. I made all the holes. You guys saw it. This is going to be a long video, so I highly, highly want you guys, please, to leave a sub, drop a comment, throw a like if you guys want me to make more videos like this and you guys like the content that we're throwing out. And as always, you know, I was going to say drop a comment, subscribe, leave a like, but I kind of already said that already. Anyways, peace out, guys. Until next time, hope this helps. If you guys have any opinions on how I set up the site, feel free to leave that down in the comments below. Of course, these site setups aren't going to be the best for every situation, for every team, but I'm giving you guys a basis to start at, and you guys can build from there, reinforce that, head holes there, etc. So this is just like a guide for people that literally have no idea how to set up the site. I've been asked this multiple times in the last week, so I made this for you guys. All right, peace out.